We're here at the Tom Weaver Meet and Greet in Gardner at the Williams Restaurant. Very good food at the Williams Restaurant if you've never eaten here, by the way. So, Tom, I want to throw a few questions at you. We have a little bit of a crowd here right now. First of all, you're running for Congress. Why run for Congress at this time? What needs to be done that you can do?
What needs to be done that I can do?
What's the thing you're going to do?
I'm running for Congress now because I ran 2 years ago. I'm running this year because it's more of the same. We're getting to a point where we're either going to go back to the principles and values that made this country great, which is our individual freedoms and our pursuit of happiness, or we're going to continue down the path of total government control.
Now, yesterday I saw you in Washington, D.C. on the second day of the protests and the deliberation at the Supreme Court over Obamacare. You were at Scott Brown's office. Was there any particular thing you were looking to touch base on with the staff of the senator?
It was mainly that we would like that I personally and the group that I was down there would like Obamacare repealed in total. And if you will, we need to get some weed be gone on all the tentacles that have gone into our nation with Obamacare. It's got to be gone completely.
Now, it's been many years since Massachusetts has sent a Republican to Congress on the House side. Of course, we have Scott Brown at the moment in the Senate. Mm-hmm. What, in your mind, is the best argument to the people of the 3rd District to, hey, consider not only sending a Republican, but me as that Republican to the district?
Well, there's a lot of people that have flowery words and look good. I'm about half of that, maybe. But when you look at what people have done, what they say, how they talk, have they put their money where their mouth is? Are they the real thing? When they say that they're involved in the community, have they been? Have they been making an effort to change things? Since I moved to Massachusetts in '79, I've been involved with Scouts and with CCD and a whole bunch of different things. And over the past 2 years, I've been involved in Show ID to Vote. I've gone around the state talking about how we need to tighten up our elections, both in how do we sign in and vote, but also, more importantly, do we really know who's running? Do we know who the issues are? So I've been involved. When the Japanese thing happened, I went around the state and gave about 10 talks to various groups on nuclear power and on radiation. People are so ill-informed about what actually happens that they're scared. You know, is the end of the world coming, that type of stuff. And I also gave a total of 15 constitutional courses. Just what does the Constitution mean? Why is it such a great document? Why, if we went back to that, could we solve so many of our problems? So I've been involved. I stay involved.
And what was your previous expertise, and what's your the way you make your living?
I'm one of those Republican conservatives that likes clean water, and I know that kind of makes the Democrats and some of the liberals kind of pause, because I actually make my living by cleaning water. Now, between you and me, if I was surrounded by some liberals, I'd tell them the only reason I like clean water is so when I have my bourbon, I can see through my ice cubes, and they actually believe that. But no, I make my living based on making sure that the water coming out of printed circuit board shops, factories. I put a system years ago at Simplex over here. I've got 400 systems nationwide, and so the water coming out, you can go right to the rivers and streams.
So you have experience both in environmental issues and in business? And
in energy. I'm a certified nuclear engineer. So I've put systems in plants where we take water and take out the salt to make the steam, because the whole thing about energy is making a steam so that you can blow a little fan wheel, and that makes electricity. I also understand about the grids, and you know, you've got a couple of nice windmills over here, but before we string them up across the nation, we really need to do some work on how we're going to transmit those lines, that power. Otherwise, it's lost.
Okay, final question before we let you get back to everybody else here. You've done some work with Show ID to Vote. I shop at a supermarket chain known as DeMola's, and I pay with my credit card. And every single time, even though I'm there all the time, even though I have a radio show, even though 1 million people have hit my blog just about, I have to show my ID. Is there any particular reason why Eric Holder isn't suing the Mollers for trampling my civil rights by forcing me to show a picture ID when I buy groceries?
I would really not like to put my mind into where Eric Holder's mind is, if that's okay. I could not speak to that, to be honest.
Seems a little incongruous that I need an ID to buy my groceries but not to vote.
Yes, it does. But yeah, and when you look at an ID, there was I sent a letter to the Secretary of State of Ohio, I believe it was, a Republican, who said that they denied this Korean veteran. He was a highly decorated veteran the right to vote because he didn't have an ID. And so I sent him a letter and said, I've never heard of anything more stupid in my life. If everybody knew he was a decorated Korean War veteran, he votes. See, it's not about so much the ID. It's getting back to when you and I go to the polls and people know us. That's all. Now, one of the biggest things, one of the most fun that came out of the show ID to vote thing was when my partner Ralph and I, in studying the law, realized that you can take movie cameras to polling places and set them up and just film all day. It's very legal. You don't want to do sound, but you can. And it's kind of like what happens when you put cameras at a bank. It doesn't necessarily stop the robbers, but it definitely makes the tellers and everybody do their job better. And so you find as everybody's doing their job better because they're on camera, they actually do the procedures better. Now, one of my greatest fans found out about that, and she did a 5-minute segment on MSNBC, and I probably for, 4 weeks, I got hate mail from Rachel Maddow's people. It was the same guy and lady, I think, about 5 times, but it was interesting for a month getting hate mail because I was disenfranchising voters who didn't have IDs. Fact is, everybody has an ID when they're registered to vote. That's the law. Bring that.
All right, well, Tom, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.